Today we're going to learn how to perform a chi-square test for association using Jamovi. In particular, we're going to examine, is there an association between age and blood pressure? And we're going to use significance level of 10%. You might be wondering why we're using a chi-square test when things like blood pressure, are interval or ratio levels of measurement, as is age. But you're going to see that the data we have is simply categorical or ordinal. If we go to Jamovi, we'll see that in the second column, we have the age of the participant, under 30, 30 to 49, or over 50. A lot of times when you carry out studies, you don't ask for the exact age of the participant, because this does preserve some of the anonymity of those participating in the study. In the first column, we have their blood pressure, but there's not a number associated with blood pressure. It simply states whether it is low, normal, or high. A lot of times you'll encounter data like this, and the chi-square test is what lets you determine whether there is a connection between blood pressure and age when you're dealing with something that is nominal or ordinal. To run this test, we're going to click on frequencies, and this is a contingency table, so it's independent samples. So if we click on that, we want one of the variables in the rows, one in the columns. It doesn't matter which one goes in the rows versus the columns, you're going to get the same p-value. And it produced a nice contingency table for us on the right. The reason we're using the chi-square test is this is an independent sample. That is, each individual study falls into exactly one of the 9 boxes here. They could have a high blood pressure, but be between 30 and 49. They could be a person with low blood pressure over 50. They could be a person under 30 years old with a normal blood pressure, but they cannot fall in 2 of these 9 boxes. If we scroll down, we see that there is a p-value of about 5%, which is less than the level of significance. So we're going to reject the null that there is no association between age and blood pressure and accept the alternative hypothesis, which states that there is an association. They are connected. Now, the chi-square test doesn't tell you what the connection is. We would naturally assume that probably older people have higher blood pressure, but that's not immediately obvious from the chi-square test. What it tells you, at first is that there is an association, and if you look at the data, you will then see that people who are in older age groups do have a high blood pressure at a higher rate.